And today's market space is crowded, is changing. Web3 is here. So how can you still be relevant in a Web2, Web 2.5 or Web3 world? And what does your brand has to do in order to stay relevant? And that can be applicable to smaller businesses, solopreneurs, or bigger corporations. So let's dive right in. But what are immersive experiences? Immersive experiences capture the imagination of an audience worldwide. And it's offering an innovative and interactive approach to showcase products, market films, or connect people with art. Immersive experiences are more than just a trend, they are reshaping how we engage with the world. Especially in today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, brands must continually reinvent themselves to stay relevant, and especially if they want to market and appeal to a younger audience. And I've been to a lot of immersive experiences. I get invited to those experiences, and I experience them on the one side as a marketer, as someone who has a business, but also as a consumer. And I've recently gone to an immersive experience for the Van Gogh event, which basically combines art and the digital world. And now if I'm thinking about, consider someone that's under the age of 30. And if you tell them, let's go to an art museum, that might not be the most fun. So they're not going to jump out of joy thinking, oh yes, I would love to go to a museum right now and look at some paintings. But if you combine creativity and art and mix it all together in like a digital experience, now that is appealing to someone, even to someone that is younger. Because when I think about myself, when I think about going to the museum, I can think of another 5,000 other things that I would rather do than going to a museum. I'm just not the biggest fan of going to a museum, looking at paintings. But if you tell me that it's a digital experience and art, I'll be the first one in line. But again, if you transform that experience, so that experience from, let's say, a traditional art museum, and you combine that with technology and creativity, now that's the real magic of an immersive experience. And as I mentioned, I've just been to the Van Gogh event, and the Van Gogh experience is a perfect example of this innovative approach. It beautifully marries traditional elements of art appreciation with modern technology to create a captivating, multi-sensory experience. Because when you think of a traditional museum, paintings are hung on the wall, but if you think about an experience, these paintings aren't just hung on the wall, they come to life. They really come alive in a 360 approach, and it's inviting visitors to literally step into the art and explore it from a unique perspective. And what I personally like about these immersive experiences, you do not see the art, but you also get an explanation. But rather than overwhelming visitors with extensive written information left and right, the Van Gogh event, for instance, really distills the knowledge into digestible and engaging segments that enhance the overall understanding without fatiguing the audience. The environment itself becomes an integral part of the experience, with room cupboards and thousands of LED lights, LED screens from floor to ceiling, continuously showcasing various paintings and taking visitors on a visual journey throughout Van Gogh's artistry. And lately, what is really popular are virtual reality, so VR headsets. And these VR headsets and these VR experiences really further deepens the immersive experience, allowing visitors to fully lose themselves, and in this case, fully lose themselves in the world of Van Gogh's art. By combining technology with art, so really this innovative use of technology, the use of technology that transforms the traditional museum experience into an immersive, interactive adventure that resonates much stronger with today's digital savvy audiences. And there are a lot of other brands that are using immersive experiences to connect better with their clients or with their audience. And then, for example, if you think about Stranger Things and the Barbie movie, or even Bubble World, these are just a few examples. But if you ask yourself, why should I think about immersive experiences? Because I'm telling you, the world really turns digital. There's a lot of digital savvy people out there. And these live digital experiences are incredibly effective in evoking some sort of emotional response from the audience. And if you use it in the context of branding, emotional engagement is paramount. Really, emotional engagement is everything. And when your audience is emotionally more invested, they're more likely to recall, advocate for, or stay loyal to your brand. Immersive experiences are built to engage multiple senses and fostering interactive involvement. And these interactions can evoke an emotional response, which is way more effective in terms of marketing than traditional marketing methods. And if you think about, well, I'm not a big movie like the Barbie movie or Stranger Things, or I don't have any art, well, let's take a look at a fashion brand. For instance, a fashion brand might use augmented reality to allow consumers to virtually try on clothes. Or a car manufacturer might create a virtual test drive or virtual experience to drive a new model or newly launched car. And these are not just cool tech features. Again, there are immersive experiences that bring the brand to life in the customer's environment. And again, these immersive experiences are offering a well-rounded interaction that leave a lasting impression. By integrating immersive experiences into your strategy, into your brand's strategy, you can create memorable moments that deepen the relationship with your audience. So take some time, think about it, whether you can integrate virtual reality, augmented reality, but the new digital stuff that your brand can use is not just an investment that only enhances the present customer experience, but also future-proofs your brand in an increasingly digital world. Especially in this digital world, immersive experiences are everything. There are great opportunities. They're great opportunities for you to differentiate yourself from your competition. So think about how you can integrate either virtual reality, augmented reality in your day-to-day business. And again, whether it's trying on something at home, you can try on makeup, glasses, clothes, you can test drive something. The more a customer can feel something, the more tangible you can make a digital experience, the more they will become invested in your brand. Another way to stay relevant in today's day and age is by making your audience co-creators. Creating products and then sharing them online is one way to do it. It's a traditional way. A lot of companies do this. But if you want to connect and build an audience on platforms like TikTok, you have to involve your audience from the start. And I want to highlight one brand who executed this strategy flawlessly, and this company called Bubble. Bubble is a skincare brand that is targeted towards Gen Zs. And what's impressive about Bubble is that all of their marketing was done completely organic just by utilizing a chat platform that's similar to Discord. Before the brand even launched its products, they used focus groups to see how people would react to their products, and then which kicked off the idea of involving Gen Zers into the product creation. And then Bubble decided to launch an ambassador program, and members of this ambassador program received free products and discounts in return for suggestions and feedback. And then according to the founder, she immersed herself in understanding the behavior of Gen Z and created a community that was part of every decision in developing the brand and the products. And now if you ask yourself, well, that's great for them, but why should I involve my community, or why should I create ambassador programs? And involving your audience, involving your community in your brand's journey is much more than just a strategic decision. It's about fostering relationships between your brand and your audience. And this bond, this relationship goes beyond the simple transactional interaction, instilling a sense of ownership and responsibility among the consumers towards your brand. And it's all about responsibility and ownership, because when a customer feels included in the brand's process, so whether it be product development, design selection, or service improvements, they perceive a certain degree of ownership. If someone is really invested in your brand and they might decide, I want design A and not design B, and then design A was chosen, they see themselves not only as consumers, but as an integral part in your brand's journey. They feel like they're an extension to your brand. And this sense of ownership can spur them to become ambassadors of your brand, sharing your brand with others, recommending your brand, and really standing up for your brand. And as I mentioned, the design element, so that's a very common scenario, choosing a product design. You don't have to involve your audience right from the beginning. So you don't have to come up with a few ideas on how a product can look. No, you can still have designers, but by providing several design options and inviting your communities to vote for their favorite, you're not just gathering valuable market insights on what the market would respond to, but also making your community feel valued and heard because they're part of the decision. Your community will become more invested in the outcome since they had a hand in shaping it. So they will go to the store and most likely buy your product. They will share it online because they were part of the design process. And similarly, product creation based on audience demand turns the traditional model on its head. Because instead of assuming what your customer wants, you're asking them directly. This is not only increasing the chances of your product being successful, but also communicates to your audience that their opinions and needs matters to your brand. In my opinion, I'm a strong advocate for this process. Involving your community should be a core strategy of any brand. It amplifies customer loyalty, it enhances word of mouth marketing, and it provides valuable insights directly from the people who matters the most, and these are your customers. So it's a win-win strategy, because when you think about it, usually you would either conduct some market research, you would pay a company to provide all those insights, or you would hire someone who does market research to really understand what your audience wants. And you can save all of that. You can save that hassle if you just involve your community, if you involve your audience to help you shape and create a product. And again, it's a super win-win situation because your customers feel heard and you create product that you know they will buy. So you don't just create something that will stand pretty in the shelf, but no one is going to buy it. No, you actually create something that your audience cares about. Another strategy to stay relevant in today's marketplace is to focus on networks with attention. In today's digital age, staying relevant means being present where the eyeballs are. And in order for you to know where the attention is, it requires an understanding of the social media landscape. So you need to know which platforms are attracting the most engagement, which advertisement channels yield the highest return, and identify the types of content that resonates with today's audience. Digital marketing is a fluid and ever-changing field. If you take it that way, it's a bit like navigating a river. Just like the river's current going up and down, the popularity of platforms, the effectiveness of ad channels, and content trends shift over time. For instance, a social media platform that always worked for your brand or that always was the golden child of social media a few years ago may now be losing ground to a newer, more engaging platform. Similarly, an advertising channel that once delivered an impressive return on investment may not be as effective today as consumer behavior and algorithms evolved and changed. And in terms of content, you need to keep a pulse on what's trending. You need to understand whether consumers are favoriting bite-sized pieces, more emotional content, longer form content. Do they like Instagram stories better? Do they watch more TikTok videos? You really have to immerse yourself and understand each channel and the content type. Or do they like informative dense content, like white papers or webinars or something that's more impactful? You really have to understand what your audience likes to consume. Also, sticking to a strategy that worked 6 years ago or even 2 years ago could be irrelevant in today's rapidly changing digital landscape. That's why I urge you to regularly review, revise, and revitalize your digital marketing strategy to ensure your brand stays not only relevant, but ahead of the curve. From one marketer to another, successful digital marketing is about adaptability and a keen awareness of where the attention is flowing. Keep your finger on the pulse of your audience, stay flexible, and be ready to shift your strategy to where the attention goes. Because if you understand where the attention goes, if you understand each channel, if you know what to create, and if you know what your consumers are currently consuming, then your brand's relevance will grow, and your brand's relevance really depends on the attention of the platforms. You need to understand where the attention is. You need to understand what your audience is consuming, what your audience is liking. And that means you have to consume a lot of content throughout your day. I recommend 30 minutes to an hour of content consumption from your competitors, from other creators online, to really understand what works and what doesn't. So go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and just consume content to see what gets the most shares, the most saves, the most likes, the most engagement, and really understand those content pieces. And I hope those 3 tips, so immersive experience, involving your audience, and understanding where the attention is, I hope those 3 aspects help you in really shifting the next 30, 60, 90 days in your brand's marketing strategy to stay relevant. And if you feel stuck and if you feel like, you know what, I need some help, whether it's with an immersive experience or I don't know what my audience likes to consume, I don't know what to create, don't worry about it. Just send me an email at nina@thesocialwisdom.com, slide in my DMs. Let's get the conversation started, and I'm sure I can help you. And that led us also yet again to another episode of the Content Marketing Cheat Sheet podcast. I'm so glad you tuned in today, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Until then, goodbye, or how we say in Germany, auf Wiedersehen.